Hey Jay, I'm going to call you Jay because I want to protect your anonymity, and hope you and A are both doing well. And Jess, Jess said that you had an intellectual property question. We talked about it a little bit last night, and I teach some intellectual property. That does by no means mean I am an intellectual property lawyer, and I do know one, however, if you should need one. But, you know, the heart of your question is, the first response I had is the asset valuable? So is the thing that you created, does it have economic value? Because if it doesn't have economic value, then it's really not worth really even worrying about. But if it does have economic value, then, you know, you'll want to take some steps to protect that. So basically, anytime you create, there's two types of property. There's intellectual property and there's real property. And real property is, you know, real estate, anything that's physical. Intellectual property is anything that you make up with your mind, which can't be grasped physically. So Bruce Springsteen has a song, you could grab the CD, but really what has value is not the CD, the actual physical medium, but what's on it. And you really can't grasp, you know, the words, the tone, the sound, the lyrics, you know, that's ineffable. So it's intellectual property. Songs, screenplays, books, methods of teaching. What I'm saying right now, this video, it's all intellectual property. And the way intellectual property law works in the United States is as soon as you create something of an intellectual property nature, you automatically own it. So right now, as I'm speaking, I automatically own these ideas which I'm speaking. That's intellectual property. If I write a poem, I automatically own it, right? So just right out of the get-go, you own it. Now, proving that you own it is a different matter. And so, you know, how do you prove that you own something, that you're the person who created it? And so the best way to do that is to file a copyright claim with the United States Government Copyright Office. So if you go to Google and search for U.S. Government Copyright Office, I think it's uspto.gov or something like that, you can file a copyright for $20. And so it's really reasonable. And that one is bulletproof. That one is, you know, now I could prove that this is mine. And so it's on record with the United States government. You actually upload a copy of whatever it is you want to copyright. And so that's, you know, and then if there's if it's contested, if there's some sort of dispute about who owns something, you could say, well, look, on this date, I could prove that I own it because, you know, I filed for a copyright license with the United States government. And the additional legal protection that comes with that is if you win the court case, the other side has to pay all of your attorney fees if you have a copyright license on file with the United States Government Copyright Office. So it's a really good thing to do. And if, I'll get back to this in one second, but if you want to protect the asset, it sounds like the person hasn't filed with the United States Government Copyright Office. What you should do is just for $20, if you think it's potentially valuable, file it with the United States Government Copyright Office, file it the way you created it, the way you want it, under your name, and that will really hold much more weight than something with the Creative Commons, which I'll talk about right now. So step one for you to protect that asset is to file a copyright claim with the United States government. I'm just going to check out that office. U.S. Copyright Office is at, yeah, it's www.copyright.gov, www.copyright.gov. All right, so the next thing to think about is Creative Commons. What is a Creative Commons copyright license? It's not my understanding that Creative Commons will issue or store.
Good morning, Uncle Jacob.
I was using their initials to keep it anonymous, but
sorry.
I don't know if it's an issue.
That's okay. Sorry.
No problem. So Creative Commons, my understanding of Creative Commons is they don't keep records on file. They will issue, you know, give you different ways to license stuff. You could go there and you could say, I want this type of a license, and they'll say, okay, here's the license for you. And so some common licenses are like attribution, non-commercial, share alike. And so that license means that if I use it, I got to give credit to whoever I borrowed it from. I could use it for non-commercial purposes, and when I share it, I have to share it under the same license. Sometimes you'll see attribution, non-commercial, share alike, no derivatives, meaning I can't change it or people can't change it. And Creative Commons really came about because the United States Government Copyright Office, if you put a copyright on something from the United States government, then it doesn't really say what the terms of use are on that. And so it's hard for people to share copywritten work, because then if I want to use it, I got to contact that person to use it. Well, Creative Commons was developed so that I could say, look, I own this, and here's the license I'm using, and I could see by the license, okay, attribution, non-commercial, share alike. I could see by the license what the terms of use are if I wanted to share that with the world or use somebody else's material. So a great example of this is freemusicarchive.com or org, I think it's .com, freemusicarchive.com, where bands upload their music and they put Creative Commons licenses on it. And so I could go in there and I could see, oh, this music is attribution, non-commercial, share alike, and I could download their song and use it knowing that they've licensed their music under those terms. And just so long as I, don't use it for commercial purposes and I give them credit, then I'm all good. And those are the terms they've set on it. So a Creative Commons license is really about signaling to other people what kind of terms of use you have on your intellectual property. All right. So I think I've covered everything. And if you want to protect that asset, just file a claim with the United States Government Copyright Office. Last thing I will say is that you can introduce in the court of law, probably, again, I'm not a lawyer, proof that, hey, here, how do you prove that you own this and you created it before somebody else? Well, was it on a blog post? Did you email it to people, right? Was it on Facebook? Is it on different websites at different times? And so that could be introduced probably and show that, look, this is mine originally. So if you have emails that you sent where, oh, I sent this to that person, and you have that documentation, that also proves your ownership. All right. So those are my thoughts on intellectual property and copyrights. I hope that helps. And again, if it doesn't have any economic value, don't sweat it. If you think it could have value for you down the line, then just file a claim with the Copyright Office and make sure you keep the emails where you were sending that out before. Yeah, that's it. All right. Hope you guys are well. Hope your adventure's going good. Sounds like a cool adventure. We're still here in Fresno. Talk to you guys later.